Kia is getting into the van market, and I know that might sound a bit strange to some people, but it's taking it very, very seriously. It's doing it with this. So this is the first of many vehicles we're going to see. It's the PV5, and really it's a rival for things like the Ford Transit, the Volkswagen Transporter, Renault Traffic, that kind of thing. This is the PV5 Crew, so it's a crew cab version, but there will be a cargo version, there will be passenger versions. They've developed a specific wheelchair accessible vehicle version, and there's also then going to be various body versions. So you'll be able to get it as a chassis cab and then add on your drop box, your box bodies, all that kind of stuff is going to be available as well. Let's talk about the styling first of all. It's very much like what we see in the Kia's cars. So you've got these vertical LED daytime running lights. The main headlights are actually tucked in here, so it's all quite compact down the front. Obviously these are fully electric. Your charger is going to go in there. DC charging on these also will be capable of 30 minutes from 10 to 80 even on the biggest battery, and that will give you up to 400 kilometers of range. There's going to be 3 different battery options available, so you'll be able to pick and choose exactly what you want. In terms of the overall body itself, well, you'll have a choice of 2 different lengths and also 2 different heights. What we see here is pretty much the standard version, but this is the crew cab, as I mentioned. I'll show you the inside in just a moment. The back's kind of interesting because what they're doing here is they've looked at how people buy vans and how they then modify vans, and they're trying to kind of cut out the specialist and the customization by doing it at a factory level and understanding what people want from a van. So they've designed this crew cab setup. Obviously you've got a sort of bulkhead of sorts, but this is actually all on rails. So you'll be able to pop up these seats, slide that forward to increase the amount of cargo space on the back depending on how you need it. It's a clever system. Rather than having just a fixed bulkhead in the back, it will be able to be movable and change that way. Doors, you'll be able to have manually or electrically operated doors, and all the cargo versions will have the twin doors on the back. Passenger versions will get the tailgate, the lift up, but either way, very, very practical to have it this way. One of the other things, this is built on a bespoke electric platform, and like all electric platforms, it's kind of like that skateboard setup. What that means is you have a very low floor in here, and that's great if you're going to be getting in and out or loading items in and out all the time. It's around at highest it's about 423 millimeters, so it's very low down compared to some other vans, so you're not going to have to be stepping up and in and out of it all the time. In terms of space in the back, obviously there's going to be a huge amount of different volumes available. You will be able to get Euro pallets in here, and there's also power takeoffs in the back as well, so you'll be able to use the energy in the high voltage traction battery to then power tools, items, fridge boxes, whatever it might be, and that charging port or that socket will actually stay active while the vehicle is in motion as well. There will be 3 different versions available in terms of batteries. It will start with a 43.3 kilowatt hour unit that uses an LFP chemistry. Then there's going to be 51.5 and 71.2 kilowatt hour NCM batteries. The largest of those batteries will be good for up to 400 kilometers of driving range in the passenger version, and all versions will use a 120 kilowatt electric motor driving the front wheels. That equates to 163 horsepower or about 160 brake horsepower, and it will have a 250 newton meter output. Rapid charging will be available, of course, talking about a 10 to 80% charge in around 30 minutes. On the inside, first of all, really big chunky door handles, so that's quite nice. And I mentioned this low belt line. The window comes down very, very low, and that means when you come in here, you'll see just how much lower that is, even when you're sitting up on the seat, which means you've got really good visibility in here. You can take a look on the inside and see just how like a passenger car this is. It's not really like a van in many ways. You've got nice kind of squarish steering wheel, Physical buttons are great to see there. There's a 7-inch display in front. You've got just about a 13-inch almost touchscreen system there. All the usual info is there. You know, you can do your smartphone mirroring, all that kind of jazz. Wireless chargers, USB ports, lots of storage dotted throughout the cabin. Even in here, you've got nice kind of door bins, plenty of space for bottles. It's all kind of segregated around, and even it's kind of rubberized plastic, so things aren't going to rattle around too much. So that's quite good as well. You'll have under seat storage, obviously a lot of adjustment available on the seats there. You have a big chunky grab handle for getting in and out. So it is going to be quite a practical van. You know, they seem to have spent a lot of time thinking about the design of this, thinking about the layout, what people want, how they want to use it, which is a good thing. But we'll have to wait until a little bit later in the year before we get behind the wheel and drive it. In the meantime, if you want to know more about it, head over to our website. It's completevan.ie. You find a link to it in the description below, and it's a great way to keep up to date with all the latest van news. Okay. All right,